Hey everyone, I'm just going to do the complete anatomy video for kind of like your general cerebral blood flow. If you're following along in the textbook, this is going to be page 33. Um, we're only going to cover really 8 arteries that's labeled in that book, maybe just a couple more on top of that just so you kind of see. But I'm going to show you kind of like what I did to help me to learn these. So the cool thing about complete anatomy is it gives you that 3D dimension for one, but two, I can come up here into the search bar and we're going to go through these one by one and you're going to see that pattern of the blood flow. You're going to be able to understand, all right, from the heart, this is the next one, then the next, then the next. It's going to just link those together and you're going to learn the flow rather than just piece by piece. So I encourage you, if you haven't learned these yet from the book, go back and learn them and then follow along in the video. Um, but other than that, let's go ahead and get started. So first thing that we're going to pull up is the heart. Pretty simple, right? And we can already tell from that heart that it's got the ascending aorta and the aortic arch already in there. Okay. Pretty simple, right? Um, when they say aorta in the book, they're meaning the whole thing. Um, but there are specific pieces to it, just so you know. But following kind of like that general blood flow into the head from the heart, let's come up the right side. Or actually, let's label the left side first. So, looking at that aortic arch, we've got kind of like these 3 holes up on the top. The one more posterior, that should be our left subclavian artery. As we can see right there, there it is. Now let's take a look at the left common carotid artery. There we go. Now to follow along with the book, let's get this first hole that's more anterior than the other two, the most anterior between the 3. That is going to be your brachiocephalic artery. Okay, now we can see that it bifurcates, right? We've got one that's superficial and then one that's more lateral. The one that is superficial, let's work up that branch completely, and then we'll move on to the lateral branch that bifurcates into. So the first one coming right out of there, that's going to be the right common carotid artery. Okay, looks like it's going to bifurcate again. The one that is more posterior, that is going to be the internal carotid artery, and it's going to be on the right side. Just so you know, complete anatomy is way more in depth, and we're missing these pieces. But for your knowledge and all intents and purposes, you just need to understand that common carotid turns into internal carotid. Okay. This internal, if we look at its origin path right there, we can kind of see it's coming right out of the aorta, coming up the brachiocephalic, right common carotid, internal, and then it makes its way through the brain. And then if you can kind of see that path and remember what we talked about in exam 1 section, you can kind of see, you can kind of imagine it's coming out of that carotid canal, and it's coming up, and then it's going to make a part of that circle of Willis. Okay. Let's come back here. Now let's do the anterior bifurcation. That's going to be the external common carotid artery on the, oh, not common, external carotid. Helps to put the right stuff in. Okay, now we can kind of see that it's coming up on the outside. Just want to show you this too. Should have shown you that. There's that hole right there, that foramen. Right? We learned this one. Carotid canal. And just to get that branch to match the picture from the book, this is going to be the superficial temporal artery. And we'll learn that. Again, definitely take the time to learn these ones because it's going to grow exponentially, the branches that are coming off of this that we'll have to learn. So I think we've got the arteries for the carotid. Now let's come look at this lateral hole coming off of this brachiocephalic. This is going to be the right subclavian artery. And you can tell it bifurcates. It has branches coming off as well. So, but the one that we need to learn for this picture, that is going to be the right vertebral artery. So let's just highlight that one really quick. Kind of like you can see in your book, comes off that subclavian, through the vertebrae, through that foramen magnum, and then creates that bottom part, which will then turn into the basilar. Just to kind of give you another view, let's pull this head up right here. So I split the right side of that head open so we can see kind of where these arteries are coming. And let's pull up these two really quick. So looking at it from this side. There we go. external carotid. We'll go through that carotid canal. Comes up right by that sella turcica. And just so you can see this, there's your pituitary gland sitting right inside that sella turcica. Your optic chiasm sitting right on top of it. There we go. And that circle of Willis, when we finally get into it, it's going to come all the way around this. It's going to go through it and around it. It's going to surprise you how tight fit everything's in there. And then that vertebral artery, like we said, is going to come through that foramen magnum. And we did say that your brainstem includes these three right here. You can't see the spinal cord, but there's your pons. Here's your medulla, then your spinal cord below it. That vertebral artery runs just right along with it. It makes that up right there. So, just a really quick video. I guess it wasn't that quick. Just on those arteries. Please study those. And like I said, it's going to get extremely harder if you don't study these ones right now. So there's that. Hopefully that video helps, and we'll see you guys later. All right. I just want to give credit where credit is due. These are the books and the resources I used for the videos. So first we have Essentials of Human Anatomy by Dr. Kurt Walker. We then have Essential Clinical Anatomy by Keith L. Moore and M.R. Auger and Arthur F. Daly. I also used Structure and Function of the Human Body by Mark Nilsson and Jamie Garbett. The last book I have is The Concise Book of Trigger Points by Simon Neil Asher. And then I used the app called Complete Anatomy. As you've seen from the videos, it's amazing. If you can afford it, I suggest it. It's such a useful tool when learning this stuff. So that's it. Have a good day.